To convert JPEG to HEIC files, you need two things on a Mac: an Automator workflow of a folder action and an AppleScript. Here's a copy of the Automator workflow. You just crank up Automator and you add one workflow element to it. You grab the Change Type of Images action and drag it to the right side, save the file, and that's all you need. In my case, I set the directory type to a folder I created called HEIC, and I put the change of type of images to HEIC, and that's all you need. This will allow you to change any file you put in this folder automatically to an HEIC. It works fine for one file, but if you want to do lots of files, it breaks down and stops working. If you drag and drop one file, it will work. If you drag and drop 50 files, it will only convert 1 or 2. If you output from Lightroom a whole bunch of files, in my case 37,000, it will only convert about 5 or 6 or 7 or 800. To get around that limitation, we create an AppleScript that feeds files one at a time into the folder that the Automator folder workflow takes care of. So here's a simple AppleScript that does the job. The key thing here is the line near the bottom that says delay 1.0 seconds. You could probably get by with a shorter delay, but you may have to even have a longer delay if you have a slower CPU or a slower disk drive. In my case, I'm running on an iMac Pro with a 2 terabyte SSD, and I still had to slow it up. This took about 2 days to convert 37,000 files from JPEG into HEIC. Well, if you just wanted a quick answer, you've had it. If you want more details, keep watching the rest of the video. I hope I don't bore you. First, we'll talk about why you would convert from JPEG to HEIC. If you've been Googling lately, you'll find most people are wondering how to convert HEIC into JPEG. That was true a couple of years ago, maybe even last year, but now things have changed. In the beginning, it was only an Apple thing, but now all of the new cell phones, the Android phones, the Apple phones, and some of the new cameras are all starting to support HEIC. Also, Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom and most of the important photo editors and video editors also support the new high efficiency format. So here's the thing. HEIC files are approximately 50% smaller than JPEG files with no loss in quality when you convert. HEIC files use 16-bit color, JPEG only uses 8, which means they have, in addition to their color gamut, they turn out to have much more dynamic range. Additionally, the new cameras are starting to swing over to HEIC, so I've exported all of my photos from my Lightroom library and turned them into HEIC files. Now, is HEIC as good as a RAW file? Absolutely not, but it's surprisingly close. Hold down the Command key and hit the space bar to bring up the Spotlight search, and then just type in Automator. When Automator comes up, just create a new document. And the type of document we want is a folder action. Select folder action, hit choose. From one of the actions on the left, you want to select change type of images. Be careful, there are 3 of them, at least it varies with machines. You want the one that's actually from Finder. Looks like this one. You just drag it to the right, and that becomes your only action. I selected don't add. It gets complicated if you add copies. Want to change the output file type to HEIC, And then we need to choose the folder that we're going to apply this action to. So the down drop for folder is other, and in this case we'll create a brand new one in the documents area, and we'll call it HEIC test. This creates a folder. The action isn't applied to the folder yet though. We'll close this off. The action gets applied after we save the file. So you have to do a file, save, give it a name. In this case, again, we'll call it HEIC test, and save it. Now we can close Automator out completely. In case you're wondering where that workflow file gets created, it's in your private library under Workflows, Applications, Folder Actions, and here we have HEIC test.workflow. This is good to know if you're like me and make a lot of mistakes and you have to go back and delete a few test cases you might have ran. Here's a demonstration. If I grab this first JPEG file of my wild duck and drag it over to the HEIC directory, you'll see that it creates an HEIC copy of that file. Now let me delete these two and show you why we need the 1 second delay. If I drag more than one file over, in this case just 2 JPEG files, simultaneously and drop them in that directory, it will only create one HEIC file and give up. Also, if I did this from Lightroom with thousands of files, it misses most of them because they're coming into the directory too fast. The AppleScript editor is just called Script Editor. You can bring that up in the Spotlight search. And here we're running Script Editor. Again, we'll create a new document. In this case, I just dragged and dropped the program in here. You will want to change the input and output directories to whatever yours particularly are. Mine was temp down my file path all the way in my pictures and documents area, and the other one was just HEIC. The other thing is this if statement, to make sure the file folder isn't the same, is certainly not necessary if you're careful. Now you don't need to save this. Actually, you can just run it right here with the run command, but you probably want to save it. In my case, I hit the run command and let it run for a couple of days and check the directory during that time. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends.